So this guy right here has just won the historical 50th Long Beach Grand Prix. Kyle, this is now your second win in Long Beach. Slightly different cars. Is there anything to compare and contrast your two wins here?
Yes and no. There's ways, and the car is very different now. This is a different strategy. It's a different tire. And we now have the hybrid unit compared to 2023, but it was somewhat of the same. I think ultimately we just ran a better race here today than we did in 2023, where in 2023 we actually lost the lead for a lot of the laps, and it was because of strategy that we were able to get ourselves back into the lead. Here we kind of just had a lot of control from qualifying through the entire race, through practices. We felt like we were in a really, really good spot, and I'm thankful for the team because of them. They give me the tools, they give me a car, they give me the strategy, the pit stops, everything that allow me to go out and win.
But it's still you that does the hard part, and it's your butt that feels what's good and bad in the car to tell them.
I definitely do not have the hard part. I can tell you that much. They have the hard part. They're the ones that work day in, day out through the off season while I'm hanging out in Florida surfing on a surfboard. So they definitely have the hard part. I just get to push the pedals and turn the wheel. But fortunately, I do pretty good at that. So I help them. I'm obviously an asset to their team, but they're a huge asset for me. And it is a team effort, a team group win here today.
You just said surfing. You're in California. This is Surf Central, not Florida.
We have surf in California. Kelly Slater's in Florida. Kelly Slater lived 2 hours north of me and started surfing there. So there's waves in Florida. It's not as good as here. I give you that, but we do have some waves sometimes.
All right, I want to see some of these surfing waves. You're not going to be by the ocean in a long time, though. You've got Barber, you've got a month in Indy, and then you've got the Midwest sweep. When are you going to get back on a board?
Fortunately, my crew chief has a wake surf boat, so I'm gonna go surf behind his boat at some point in Indy because there's a few lakes up there. That's what I do. That's the only way I get back onto the board. You know what? I don't surf as much as I used to because it's still considered dangerous. Whatever.
I'm interrupting you for a reason. Is it in your contract that you can't?
It's a great question. It probably is. But they know that I ignore that one. I take the risk, as racing drivers do. So
are you telling me we probably shouldn't air this interview?
No comment, I guess.
This race, you mentioned in the press conference, you said, I'm sorry if this looked like a boring race. You coming from pole. But the stats say otherwise. 169 passes on this track, 9 lead changes in the race, 0 yellows. That's insane. And this is, of those stats, the best since 2012. How can you capitalize on that for the fan base moving forward as we get on this momentum kick before Indy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was referencing more the lead changes, right? I guess there was different strategies and people were able to pay attention to that, but there ultimately wasn't a passing for the lead, which is exactly what I wanted. But it's not what every single fan wants. So, it's your stats are very important, right? I think we've grown as a series as there is years on this car, years on this package. We tend to get more and more passes kind of everywhere we go. Maybe not all of them happen in the front, but they obviously cover a lot of things that happen in the middle of the pack, and that's very, very important. We got 27 of the best drivers in the world here. And there's a race happening, whether it's up front, middle of the pack, or wherever it's at. There's a very important race happening, and fortunately, we're at the front of all that today. But it is important for the fans to be able to see that as well.
One nugget I want to drop out there before we let you go. And by the way, you've been doing interviews for about 2 hours by the time I get you. You're done right now.
Yeah.
But Robert Wickens, he was on your box today. This was a pretty special win, not just for you, not just for the 50th, but for him making his return to the top of IMSA this weekend as well. Our friends at Racer Magazine are going to do a really good, Marshall Pruitt actually is going to do a really good story on it. Can you explain some of those additional emotions to the weekend?
For sure, right? So Robbie Wickens is obviously a big part of our team. He pays attention to a lot of things that we don't really get the chance to, and he has a completely different outlook on things. So he was clearly one of the fastest IndyCar drivers in his time, and this weekend was very special to him, getting back into into the top tier motorsports series in GTD. So to see him driving again here this weekend, I actually went down to the Lexus pit stand and watched for a little bit. And I noticed in the practice too that he was actually the fastest, right? Which is huge for him and huge for his morale and huge for the racing community as a whole, right? There's been a huge push to make sure that he gets back into cars. Brian Herta, who is on my stand, had put him back into the Hyundai program, won multiple championships in that, won multiple races in that, and to see him climb back up the ladder to IMSA is so cool. Even after a couple big crashes that he's had out of his control, of course, and yeah, I mean he's stuck through it, and it's a very inspiring story, right? And this is a big weekend for him, and to cap it off with a win is even more special.
All right, are you ready for a beer or 12?
36, something like that, yeah.
June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bomarito Automotive Group 500. The biggest stars, the quickest cars. Welcome to IndyCar at WWT Raceway, the greatest racing on earth.